Hashem, Chodesh Tov, chapter 17, verse 1. Utizbacha Hashem Elokecha, shor v'seh. You're not allowed to slaughter to God as an offering a lamb or an ox, sher yevo mum, it has a defect, a blemish, called avara, anything bad, ki to'avas Hashem Elokecha, because this is an abomination. Tony, do you want to read the Rashi or you'd rather not? Okay, so Elia, you read the Rashi. Chapter 17, verse 1. So this is, so it's, Rashi says that this is basically, the idea here is that even though it typically it just states do not slaughter an offering to God that has a blemish, the Torah has already said these things. So here the Torah is telling us that this relates to a different prohibition called the prohibition of pigul, which means that you have in mind to eat or place its blood on the altar beyond the time where it's allowed. But that also has already been commanded in the Torah. So this is a commandment that you're not allowed to cause it to become pigul. Asara lemefagel. You're not allowed to cause it to become pigul. Ayedei dibur ra. Now, how do you cause it to become pigul? Through an impact. So how do you cause it to become pigul? By expressing your thought, verbally. So that's there's a very specific prohibition, and that's what's commanded. And we're going to spend a lot of time on this prohibition in the Daf Yomi. Are you going to do the Daf Yomi when you get back to Oraita? You should be doing the Daf Yomi there. People who do the Daf Yomi in Oraita continue with it. And when my son was in Oraita, I said you should do the Daf Yomi. And he started then, and now he's almost finished with the cycle because he started then. Where are you going, Tommy? You're thinking about CBA. Are you not sure when you're going? Oh, you're a senior this year. Oh, you're a senior this year. That's right. I thought you were going next week. Okay, fine. So, okay, go on. The next pasuk. Ki matzei b'kir b'cha. If you find amongst you in your cities, amongst you, God gives you isha isha asher yaseh sarah b'nei Hashem. A man or a woman who will do wickedly in the eyes of God, to violate His commandment. Which commandment is this? Look at Rashi. Elliot, tell us. The covenant not to worship idolatry. God made a covenant with us not to worship idolatry. And he went and he worshipped false gods. And he bowed down to them. The sun and to the moon, or to all of the hosts of the heaven that I am not commanded. Rashi says, love them. I did not command to worship them. So basically, you find amongst you somebody. What are we talking about here? That you find amongst you somebody who does bad and he goes worships other god. And he told to you, V'shamata v'darashta itev, and you sought it out. V'nei emet nachon hadavar, and behold, it's true. Rashi says, nachon, mekuvan ha'idut, the testimony is correct. Na'astat ha'toeva zot b'Yisrael. So this is a person is worshiping idolatry. What do you do to him? Pasuk K. You should take out the man or the woman who've done this bad thing to your gates, the man or woman who's and you stone them to death. Okay, so let's see what Rashi says. Actually, okay, go on. Let's read the Rashi. What does it mean, Elliot? You read it, please. So the one who translates Sha'arecha, one who translates it as El Sha'arecha, Litra beistinach, to the gate of your court. So what does it mean? It says you shall take out this man, el sharecha. One who translates this as to the gate of your court is toeh, making a mistake. Shekimatzinu el sharecha. What does el sharecha mean? Zeh shar sha'avadbo. Doesn't mean you take him to the gates, because it says you take him out to the gates and stone him to death. Which gate? It could be the gates of your court, but no, that's not what it means, Rashi says. What does it mean? It means to the gates where he worshipped. You take him to the place where he worshipped and stone him there. How do we know that? It says, Zeh shar sha'avadbo. This is the gate where he worshipped. Go on, Elliot. Oh, maybe it's the gate that he was judged at. How do we know which one it is? So Rashi explains. Nemar sharecho amata v'nemar sharecho amawa. It says to your gates below, i.e., in our verse, el sharecha, and it says it above. Where does it say it above? In pasuk beis. It says ki matzeh b'kircha be'achad sharecha, where you find them, somebody worshiping in one of your gates. Go on. Just like the gate above in verse 2 is where he's worshiping, Shar Shavadbo, so where he's worshiping. Vitargumo, it's also the gate that he worshipped, Vitargumo, and the translation should be the Kiryavach, to your cities, meaning to say, you take him to the gates of your cities. That's where you're taking him. Okay, go on. Beautiful, Rashi. Okay. So you have to stone him to death in the place where he worshipped. On the basis of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses, you put him to death. Now, you masames. Well, if he could be put to death with 2, then obviously he could be put to death with 3, Tommy. So why, if it says he's on the basis of 2 or 3 witnesses, why does it say 3 if he's anyway put to death with 2? So, he does not die on the basis of 1 witness. So let's look what Rashi says. By the way, Aviva, do you think I should wear on a regular Shabbos the white or the black? Yeah, the black, right? Yeah. And then on the holidays, the white. And Rosh Chodesh, maybe Rosh. Yeah, it's a zinger. What do you think, Tani?
I agree.
Agree with Aviva? And Elliot?
Yeah.
And Eliezer, what do you think? You can go either way. What? No, I'm saying, do you think I should wear the white or the black on a regular Shabbos? Not the black? When should I wear the black one? Every day? Well, most people don't wear the Strimo every day. They only wear it on like festive. Also, should I get a fur coat to go with it? That's a joke. Okay. So read the what? I have the gold. I have the gold Bekisha. Of course. You know, you've seen the gold Bekisha, right, Tony? Yeah, of course I have the gold one. Okay, go on. Shnayim Eidim or Shlosh Eidim. If the testimony is upheld with 2, why does it have to say 3? To compare 3 to 2. Just like 2 is 1 testimony, so is 3. Meaning to say that if there are 3 who come and testify, and 2 of them are accused of being false witnesses by being in a different place, they're not going to be punished until all 3 are found to be Zomim. The Zomim witness gets Kasher Zamam, like he tried to do. We did it. That's what we're going to Makos 5b. Okay. Yada Eidim Tiebo Barishana. The hands of the witnesses should be upon the defendant or the convict first. V'amito, to put him to death. The Yad Ko Am B'achona, in the hands of everybody else at the end. V'yarta Ramik Kurbecha, and you should uproot the wickedness from your midst. Next pasuk. Hi palei mimcha davar mishpat. This is probably the most important pasuk in the whole Torah. If you will be something where you have a question, and their matter will be hidden from you. Bin dam wadam, bin din ladin. Let's say you want to know between blood and blood, or between law and law, bin nega and nega, between tumah tara, divrei rivos b'sharecha. You don't know what the law is. What should you do? Let's say you have a question. They couldn't different in the Torah. What do you do about lab-grown beef? Right? What do you do about, how do you say Shema when you're on the moon? Right? When there's no setting of the moon. How do you do with all these new questions that arise? She'll get up and go to the place that Hashem your God has selected for you. Let's read the Rashi. What is this pasuk referring to? The Vilna Gaon said every single matter of law is of Jewish law is contained within this pasuk. Bein dam wadam, bein din ladin, bein nega nega. Nega nega is tumah tahara. Din ladin is all of choshim mishpat. Dam wadam is all of Yeridea. So we have all of Yeridea, all of choshim mishpat, all of tumah tahara. Everything is included in one of those areas. Okay, go on. Ki paweh means kol hafla'ah, lashon havdalah uprisha. Any word hafla'ah means separation and being apart. That the matter is separated and concealed from you. That's what the word pawa means. Ki paweh means the matter is separate from you. That you're not sure if there's kosher blood or non-kosher blood. Between, let's say, is this kosher mishpat, or you're not sure if he's innocent or guilty. Go on. You're not sure if it's tamir tahor. Divrei rivot b'sharecha. So everybody in the town is arguing. How could they have a dispute if the matter is being passed down from Sinai? How can it be in dispute? Because new questions will arise that they hadn't anticipated. And that's where you go to the rabbis of that town. But they're arguing. There's a whole theory. How did dispute argue? How did machokes over a matter argue? How come on every opinion the two rabbis argue? So one theory is that they forgot, but another theory is it's a new question that arose and they don't know how to apply the old rules. So this is what's going on here. The Chachmei are arguing. So where did the Torah Shabbat Peh come from? All the Talmud. Where did that come from? Where do you say, Elliot? Where did all those teachings come from? So there's two basic theories. One basic theory is that when God gave the Torah to Moses at Sinai, he gave with him the oral law. All of the oral law was given. And it says in the Talmud, even the new laws that were going to arise, he gave to him. But the more logical theory, to my mind, is no, that God gave us. And there's another theory, it's definitely within the bounds of our faith, that God gave to Moses a small set of oral laws, but he gave Moses the principles, Moshe Rabbeinu, the principles about how to interpret those laws. And now in each generation, they apply those principles anew. And that's how the whole Talmud got built up. Okay, so Elliot, so read the Rashi, the Kamta Valisa. So the temple is higher than all the other places. Okay, go on. Next pasuk. And you shall come to the Kohanim, Nevi'im, the judges that will be in those days. Which other judge are you going to go to? Of course, you're only going to the judges in those days. Let's see what Rashi says. And they'll look into the matter, and they'll tell you the matter to assume the case. The Kohanim sheyatzu mishevet Levi. These are the Kohanim that came from the tribe of Levi. And the judges that will be in those days, even if he's not as good as the previous judge, you're going to go to the rabbi in this generation, but you say he's no Chafetz Chaim. He's not as great as Rashi or Tosfos. He's not as great as them. How am I going to go to him? Even though he's not as great as the previous judges, you have to listen to him. That's the idea. All you have is the judge in your generation. So even though he's not as great as the judges of the previous generation, you have a responsibility to listen to him. That's what it is. Okay, next pasuk. And you shall do everything that they will tell you from that place. You shall guard and do everything that they tell you. Okay, now this is a very, very, very difficult idea. I want everybody to pay close attention. On the basis of the Torah that he teaches you, the laws that he tells you, this judge, you have to do. You're not allowed to depart from anything he tells you, not to the right or to the left. What does that mean? You can't go to the right or to the left. What does that mean? Rashi says, even if the judge or the rabbi tells you, al yamin shu small, that the right is the left, while small shu yamin, or the left is right. The kol shekin shomerocha yamin, while small. You have to listen to the judge, even if the judge tells you that the left is right and the right is left. And for sure, if he tells you that the right is right and the left is left, you have a responsibility. When you go to the dayan, you have to listen to the dayan. And so too, if you go to the, let's say a Rebbe, and you say to the Rebbe, tell me the halacha here, and you ask him the halacha, you're putting yourself under his guidance. So you have to listen to him. You're not allowed to ask him the question, then you're bound to listen to him. You can't depart from it. Even if it seems obvious to you, Ramban says, that the judges are in error, you still have to listen to him. That you still have to listen. That's what it says. You still have to listen. Even if the right is the left and the left is the right. You still have to listen. Let's see. Yeah, they don't comment on that, but let's see. Hold on one second. Let's see if they comment here. Yeah. Hello, Adam. We're in chapter 17, verse 11. We just said you have to go to the judge and you have to listen to him. You know what that reminds me of in 1984 when they said 2 plus 2 equals 5 and he didn't want to listen. But you have to listen. And the man who will listen intentionally, he does not listen to the Kohen, who's standing there to serve Hashem your God. If you don't listen, then that man will die, will be Artar Israel, and he will wipe out the evil from Israel. Rashi says nothing here. This is, you have an obligation to listen to the judges. Then all the people shall hear, and they will fear, and they shall not act willfully. So this is the law of the Zakei Mamre. Do you know what a Zakei Mamre is? Did you learn about that ever? Okay, what's a Zakei Mamre? A Zakei Mamre, do you ever hear of it, Tani? You ever hear of it, Elliot? Okay, so I'm very glad we're studying this. So, the Zakei Mamre is a rebellious elder. This is an elder who has a following, has people listening to him, and he goes with his question to the Sanhedrin, and the Sanhedrin rules not like his position. While they were sitting in their chambers, in their place, and they rule against him. And he goes and continues to teach. And he continues to teach. It says he goes back and he continues to teach. Asher Yaseh Vizadon. Let's say, maybe we'll look it up here. Continues to teach. He does not listen to the Kohen who's standing there to serve. Such a person is called the rebellious elder, and he's going to be executed. But you wait to execute him until the next festival, Ada Regel. Look here at the let's see. Let's see what it says here. It says, hold on 1 second. Okay, Va'ish. Here it says, so yeah, he said he's only a rebellious elder, not if he does it, but only if he teaches it. He's still supposed to max, meaning to say, if the court rules against him, let's say he says Yom Kippur is on Tuesday and the court rules it's Wednesday, and he goes back and keeps Yom Kippur on Tuesday, then he's not a rebellious elder. He's only a rebellious elder if he teaches the law, not like he said. So that's the law of the rebellious elder. Hello, everybody. How are we doing? Here is the Chumashim on the table, I think. Okay. Elon, you like the hat? Okay. Really? You like it? Yeah, it's mink, white mink. Ooh. Actually, this one was from a polar bear, a white polar bear. They were going extinct, but they said we have to kill it just so the rabbi can get a shtreimel. We killed the last polar bear in the world just to give me a shtreimel. You support that, though? Yeah. Anything to improve our spiritual connection to Hashem. So no, I don't know exactly which animal, but I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. I don't know which animal it was, but I'm sure they didn't kill it just for me. Let's just say that. I mean, it's probably like a fox or something, or I mean, what animal does it look like? This does not feel like cat hair. Maybe after the discussion. What? Okay, let's go on to the next pasuk, chapter 17, verse 14. Chapter 17, verse 14. Elliot, tell them all what page we're on. Okay, so now we come to the land which God is giving to you. And you inherit it and you stay there. And you say, I want to make a king for all the nations that are around me. So you want to make a king. You say, I want to make a king. There's a whole debate whether or not this is a mitzvah or an option, because they actually did make a king. But when they asked for it, they were punished. So Hashem says, Som tasim alecha melech, you shall appoint a king, asher yivchar Hashem elokecha bo, that God will choose from amongst you, mikerav achecha, from amongst your brothers. Tasim alecha melech, you shall appoint a king. You're not allowed to appoint a foreigner as king. You ever hear like you can't be president of the United States unless you're born in America? You ever hear that law? Some people were challenging that because they said Obama was born in, where would they say it was? Kenya? What? No, he was born in Hawaii, but people like Trump was saying that there was no birth certificate. He was born in a different country, but they were trying to disqualify him. Also, Arnold Schwarzenegger, that he wasn't going to run, but he was just trying to change the law because he was born in Austria. But this comes from the Torah, because that's where they got the law, because you can't make a foreigner into your king. That's where the Constitution got it from. They based a lot of the people There was a whole push when the United States was founded to make the language of the United States Hebrew. Did you know that? Yeah. So this is that they were students of the Bible. Okay. Okay. The next pasuk: Rakol Yarbelos Susim. You're not allowed to have too many horses. Well, Yeshivat Mitzrayim, but you can't return the people to Egypt. Aman Arbot Sus to make more horses. Vashem Amarochem Lotosifu Lashu B'derech Hazel. And God says to you, you cannot go down this path anymore. So what does it mean you cannot have more horses? Elliot, please, I'll just read it because we only have 1 minute left. He only should have enough horses that he needs. What's the reason why he can't have too many horses? Because then he'll go back to Egypt and the horses come from there. As it states about Shlomo Melech, and he brought up, chariots went up and departed from Egypt for 600 pieces of silver and a horse for 150. All right, we'll pick this up tomorrow, God willing. We'll stop here. Baruch Hashem.